You know what I forgot to do is I got so many transcriptions going on. I'm like, I forgot. What did we work on my last stream? Give me 2 seconds here. I gotta jump over to YouTube and have a quick look. And yeah, that looks fine there. Let's see. Live. That one's now language study, transcribing, and we worked on Timon Peak. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm busy. Okay. Timon Peak. So let's so we'll tie into that. Oh, and I'll just go share this really quick on Facebook. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Tsimwinpiak. I think might have to back up a little bit and figure out where I was at in this one. I had to take a little break last week. We just got wrapped up in our fourth recording session with Wes. Arden did a beautiful write-up on the Cree Literacy Network. Let's see right here. And so we finished up our last recording session. We did 4 sessions in the spring last year. We did, Arden and I collaborated on a grant to do 16 days of recording with Wes Fineday. So this is Wes here. And at the time, I just talked with Wes about this the other night. At the time, I was like, man, it seems like a lot. Like, how are we going to coordinate all of this? And, you know, traveling to Saskatchewan in the fall and the winter and figure all that stuff out. It all seems like a blur now looking back. But yeah, we've finished 16 days of recording. We have almost 30 hours of material in the language. And anyway, so we're working on one of these stories, and this one's called Tsimwin Peak, because it was the very first story that I recorded, actually. This was actually, we weren't even set to record until the next morning. So this is kind of a sneak peek recording we did the very first night I arrived at Sweetgrass. And it's actually a handful of stuff that Wes had been thinking about. But it's, we just have a quick peek here. I'll get zoomed out and have a look. If I recall correctly, yeah, so it's just about half an hour. And we are 8 minutes in. So I'm going to back up a little bit. I want to back up a tiny little bit and just have a listen to see where we're at. Let's go to about, oh, yeah, refresh that. Let's go back to about 6 minutes, maybe. Right about there. Make sure that audio is coming through fine. No, 1 second. I just need to fix that. I think it's coming through to you, but I need to be able to hear that audio also. Let's see. Let's try that again. Let me know if this audio is coming through. If you're on, hey, Mananto, Neil. Just I'll play this real quick, and I just got back and set up again. Just let me know that this audio is coming through.
Yeah,
once again, I'm not getting it on my end. Tisqua. Let's try that. And sounds good, no echoes, no anything, so that's good. Okay. So yeah, we'll go back to about minute six. We'll go back to the 6th minute. 6 minutes. And we'll just have a listen from there and see. Get my brain caught up to where we were at here.
Grammatik squetik. Metonegi ko squeta man. Peagwane sipik squetik go makiano gai sipik squet. Egine heo ejik. Nigin stohta okto. Maga moine heo go si hatisik. Shayella man egita tigati togi. Ki guino get to gun ketsila. Maga noche go man kama mam to nehta mano maya. Puito gwen ge gunik shayan managa kaitisik. You know some ego noch chigi wi hun. Kaga si mo koma. Kagi oche nstawe ta gustik. Aga manam to negi guswehta man egi tuet. Meto istawa pia gwen osam pogo nan toga ki goiga ta sihta kik. Elgi nan stohta gikwana.
This is, I just pause there for a sec because it's really cool to come back to this story, which is like, again, the very first story that we recorded. And at the time, I think I was nodding my head in agreement to lots of things and picking out lots of words, but I wasn't quite sure 100% what he was talking about. But to think of just like, that was a pretty short time ago. And now when I listen to these, I understand so much more. It's pretty amazing.
Ego hegi se egi sakam ksianek to he papam kagi mihta ogi goktan se maita kam siktan se mita chemochik. Ewi pe se pueste ant. Nigi pegi motamo ogum sa te mo mihchai. Ego nigi pegi eta ogum gimsa te mo.
He took their horses.
Moyo yag do pe na so atek. Maton chi egi ma pinechik. Or they
didn't think much of losing them. Yeah.
Nana toch mana egi tachi moto ne musumpan.
Yeah.
Misewe egi papa machi hut. Ute hasni wachi man egi ni taito te gin tautago te minek te homa. All right, so
here we are. We'll grab this chunk, and that's where we start off tonight. I'll see if I can bump that up. Yeah, a tiny little bit, just to make the text easier to read. If you're joining in on a smaller device tonight. That good tea. All right, let's see what we got here. Saniu Wachi. I was thinking about this. Let me see if I got my... I don't. Squishy square. I want my brush set up here. Screen brush, yeah. Because I like to draw on the screen. And ghost mode. There we go. This one here, I was thinking about this the other day. I think this needs to be a long I because it ends in IY. So it would have a saniowatsi. But if you put the locative on, I think they want that spelt with a long I, which they do. Yeah, so that's interesting. Same as here, like asani would end in IY, but then it maintains that long I sound when you drop, like when you put it into another word, so they mark it with a long I. I think that's the rationale there. Gawigitsik. Okay.
Oge soneasni wachi kawi gechigoge sasiwak.
Sasiwak. Let's grab a little bit more of that.
Oge soneasni wachi.
Amisku, sorry, Amisk Maikan says, Kigwayan mam asaniwatik. That's the Rocky Mountains. But in or Sisune is saying alongside the Rocky Mountains. Asaniwati is what we call the Rocky Mountains. Rocky Mountains. But also I think that's the name for I think that's the name for, hate being wrong about stuff, so I'll look it up. Asaniwati. Rocky Boy, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. I only saw this here. I don't know if that's, I'm assuming that's correct. But generally, that's what we call, like, I'm from Rocky Mountain House, so I'll say Asaniwati Waskaigan, Rocky Mountain House. Yeah, the Rocky Mountains are a big place, so. But in this context, he's saying Sisone, alongside the Rocky Mountains where they lived. Sasiwak. What does it think Sasiwak means? Oh, okay, so they spell it with a long A. That's not what I'm hearing, though. Let's listen to it again.
Oge Sone wa chi kawi ge chigoge Sasiwak. Kisi ka teo mana. Sarsi. Sasiwak.
Let me grab that last chunk. That's interesting that they have a long A in there. I'm going to leave it the way it is, because I'm certain the way he's saying that is Sasi and not Sasi.
Sasiwak. Kisi ka teo mana. Sarsi.
Isiga teo mana. Yeah, I'm going to leave that and flag it, because I think that's one of those ones where I suspect both spellings, probably. Oh, I got a comment on Twitch. My mother told me that if your beard is longer than your hair, your head looks upside down. Interesting. That's interesting. My hair's pretty long. It's longer than my beard. Manu Min says, Mio tago sin tapue school wa. Nice to hear. I don't like that word, but that's okay. Yeah, Neil says lots of places have that name. Asaniu What's-he Sikh is Rocky Boy. Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard that before. That's cool. All right, let me fix this up and we'll keep going here. Good to be back. I had to take a little break last week and just resting lots as I got back from... I hit... when I got to Sweetgrass the week before, it was like -1. It was beautiful. Like hit that little pocket of warmth there. And then it got to... I think when I left, it was -24 or something. Proper winter. Yeah. But good to be home. Good to be back. All right, let's check out the next chunk here.
Sasiwak. Kaya si wiho neogo. Ego kaskte wayasetak. Mine konek Blackfeet.
What did he say?
Sasiwak. Kaya si wiho neogo. Ego kaskte wayasetak.
I wonder if that's one word.
Mine konek Blackfeet.
I can hear that I in there perfectly. Kaya si wihuin.
Sasiwak. Kaya si wiho neogo. Ego kaskte wayasetak.
So I wonder if... Yeah. Kaya si wihuin. So that's how I'm going to mark it, because I think it should be that. It's interesting. Sometimes our dictionary doesn't like nouns to have pre-nouns. I got pre-noun, I guess you could call that. We'll flag them. For the spell checker people, okay.
Sasiwak. Kaya si wiho neogo. Ego kaskte wayasetak.
Yeah, Sasiwak, yeah, the Sarsi is what he's talking about. The Sarsi. But he's saying here that's an old Cree name for them. Gayasuihu Aneogo, that's an old name. Sasiwak. And I don't know, the Cree language is very descriptive. So I wonder if there's anything under. Yeah, it just says Sarsi. Don't know that necessarily that it means anything.
Sasiwak. Kaya si wiho neogo. Ego kaskte wayasatak.
And the Blackfeet.
Minegwanek Blackfeet.
Kaskitewayasitak. What did he say at the end there?
Minegwanek Blackfeet.
Egonik. Okay. This is exciting, getting into this story. Yeah, no, and so I don't know where the name Sarsi, if that's like an anglicization of the Cree, or maybe, like, I don't even know what, because I know I'm not saying this right, Tsutina, I don't think they, like, I don't know where this word Sarsi comes from. Lots of times those names, those English names are anglicizations, right? But I don't know the origins of that one.
Ego hute se nawats apitagis kanok tehe se kutehoche.
On the other hand, over here,
Ego hute se nawats apitagis kanok tehe se kutehoche.
Pita ki sigano ite kese, I think he said.
Apitagis kanok tehe se kutehoche.
Ite kese egute.
Apitagis kanok tehe se kutehoche.
Pita. There we go. It's like a game almost to make all the words turn blue. Let's go for a walk says, my son lives in Tsutina. They used to be called Sarsi. Yeah, and I don't know where that name comes from. If it's their own name for themselves or... Shane, Mananto, Kimaga. Shane says, Aho, Guoma, have a good stream. Yeah, miasen. Hi. Yeah. Metene. Miwitinumaga. Tagosin yan. Pitama. You stopped in for a short bit.
Eko te mina mano ge papeiko make egi at Eko te mina mano ge papeiko make egi at
Papegomak.
Eko te mina mano ge papeiko make egi at Eko te mina mano ge papeiko make egi at
Let's grab the next chunk and see what that says.
egi at wawichik papeiko mak the pierced noses. Egi at wawichik papeiko mak the pierced noses.
I think it's pape. Years. Yeah. I don't know if this is going to be... I don't think we're going to find it. Shane says, I, Nia Mananto, spelling sometimes. Mananto, don't worry about the spelling. Yep. If you know the words, spelling can always be figured out. Don't sweat it. No. I thought I would pierced. I wonder if that's it there. Papego mak. Pago. Papego. No, that's not really. Let's check. Seems odd for a word to start with that. Pego. No. Papego mak. I'll just write it like this for now. Let's listen to the whole thing one more time.
E ko te mina mano ge papeiko mak egi at wawikchik. Papeiko mak, the pierced noses.
Yeah, I think it's a short A. Papego mak. Egiat wawigitsik. Yeah. I'll just flag that one. That seems fine. Okay. Thanks, Shane. Yes, and we usually do have a good stream. Yeah.
Tan se te nes pierced ti man ga si ga ta che go. Ma ton si wems te go wi hon mi no.
Nez Pierce. Is that how it is? I saw that. Nez Pierce? Pierce.
Tan se te nes pierced ti man ga si ga ta che go. Ma ton si wems te go wi hon mi no.
Si gata tik. I think there's H in there. Oh, short A. Si gata tik. Let me listen to it again.
Tan se te nes pierced ti man ga si ga ta che go. Ma ton si wems te go wi hon mi no. Tan se te nes pierced ti man ga si ga ta che go.
And it's more convenient sometimes for fluent speakers to say, or like I've noticed with this Wes, and I hear this other times too, ogo, instead of oge. I think but that's like a little bit of a Saskatchewan thing too, isn't it? Ogo. Let's see if our dictionary has that. Yeah, it does too. Okay. It seemed uncommon. Like when I was first learning, it seemed uncommon, but now it seems super common. I hear it all the time. Gai si gata tik. Oh yeah, it must be that, but I'll come back to that. Let's listen to that second chunk.
Ma ton si wems te go wi hon mi no. Ma ton si wems te go wi hon mi no.
Stegoihuin. I think that's what he said. I wonder if that's an English name, he says. Or Wamstego, like, how would you describe Wamstego? Like I've heard that term is the wooden boat people, or like the early settlers or missionaries maybe that were here, Wamstego. And I think, what does the dictionary say? Misk Maikan says, oh, French. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Neil says French. Miss Maigan, are you working with Mr. Fine Day for this Tell a Story Hive episodes? This is a different project. So the Tell a Story Hive episodes, he's working with a professor named Charlene, I think Bonner? Charlene? Actually, it's funny. I don't even know Charlene's last name. Out of Lloydminster. I think she teaches at the university up there. College, university? And they're doing... So she's doing Story Hive. So a lot of these stories or very similar information is available for the Story Hive podcast series, Asugan, but in English. And so this project is separate from that, but we've, Charlene's been out there several times with us while we're working on this project. These stories, or the purpose of this project is, let's see if we can Google it. Sweetgrass stories. There it is. It comes up at the top. Even if you just Google Sweetgrass stories, a 21st century perspective. This is our project. And we applied for I partnered with Arden Og at the Cree Literacy Network, and we put in a grant last spring to basically sit with Wes and record stories in the language as a language project, as a project to capture. He has so much knowledge, and he's so articulate. And so this is such a long story. But he's also one of the descendants of the original informants of Leonard Bloomfield, who was a linguist who captured stories from Sweetgrass, Saskatchewan in 1925. So literally 100 years ago. 100 years later, we sat with Wes and recaptured some of the stories, some similar stories. We actually captured stories about some of the people that Leonard Bloomfield worked with. And one of the people who gave Leonard Bloomfield stories was Wes's great-grandfather. So this whole project was reconnecting, like bringing some of those stories and creating a contemporary link for people just to sort of create relevance around these stories, sort of send out the message like these stories are still relevant, they're still here, they're still meaningful in a contemporary context. So that's the short version of that project. And we've got just so, I think I have almost 80 stories, like 30 hours in the language. It's really quite amazing. So if you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel yet, I highly recommend run over there and take a look. Let me pull it up. You can find the link through TikTok. You can Google it. You can find the link on my Facebook if you're watching from Facebook. Sweetgrass Stories, A 21st Century Perspective is the project. I think I've got 14 stories up there so far. I'm just pulling it up on YouTube right now, so just bear with me. And, the reception's been amazing. It is obvious to me that... Where's the link to the channel? Why is this so difficult? It's obvious to me that the timing of this is really well suited also. I don't know what the right word is. People are the reception's been really good, I'll say. View your channel. There we go. Okay, here it is. Holy, that was difficult. So this is the project here. And I just uploaded this story yesterday, Wihuna, which is talking about some of the names that have come up through these previous stories. But yeah, some of the stories are an hour long, some of them are like 5 minutes. So they're really great from a perspective of language learning, and that you can kind of just get in and you can kind of just get in. One of the methods that we use for language learning is transcribing the story and then going back and listening. And I tell you, I've learned a ton of language in the last 5-6 months in this process. So it's been really good. Yeah. Charlene Bonner. Miss Meigan says she was my professor, teacher, connected Wes through her. That's awesome. Yeah, Wes is amazing. We met through basically coincidence in Winnipeg, and then this project just sort of happened. Like it's been amazing, the whole thing. I just want to see if I can find Wamestigo. Can I do that? Wamestigo. I think we'll just do. Let me listen to it again. So that's going to be a long O, and I'll just flag that one for the spell checker people.
Yeah. Ego napakstiguanak. The flat heads. Yeah.
Pagistiguanak.
Yeah. Ego napakstiguanak. The flat heads. Yeah.
I just assume that the dictionary, but they have other names in there, so they'll be interested in these names. So whenever we flag those different colors, they have different purposes. So the red ones, actually, probably those could actually be. I'm not certain about the spelling on these ones, so that's why I left those red. But the red ones are the areas where we'll go back and sit down with Wes and ask, like, just dial in the word, make sure we understand exactly what it is. Or lots of times if there's an area that we have trouble with. The yellow ones we send off to the people who work on the spell checker. And then sometimes there's another type of issue we have for sending back. If the spell checker people and the dictionary people are different people, then we can separate those out. And I want to start, we're going to add in a feature to allow us to, like, we could flag maybe this names or places or something and start building up the ability to be like, maybe Big Bear or something was mentioned in a story, so then you could go back and find all of those. Or we're imagining something like that where you can just sort of keep like free tags for your own purposes, something like that.
Sampuguma. Iniu tahkayat. Kagipetago tagoyahuta. Sampuguma. Iniu tahkayat. Kagipetago tagoyahuta.
Taguhtat, I think you said. That doesn't make sense. Uta. What did he say again?
Sampuguma. Utahkayat. Kagipetago tagoyahuta.
Oh, Dago, yeah. Okay. Heard it wrong. Okay. Dago. Dago. Can you say that? Dago. Interesting word. Okay. Manato, Damien.
Sampuguma. Iniu tahkayat. Kagipetago tagoyahuta.
I think I'm hearing that word right. I'm going to flag it because I don't totally understand it. Dagoyak. Huh. We'll just keep going. That's fine.
Wapskiwias. Opikskwewen. Kagipekitago tetuta.
Interesting. When they were... Yeah, but am I spelling it wrong? Dago... Like, I think I understand what it means. Oh, Dagotaheo. That makes... Let me listen to it again.
Sampuguma. Iniu tahkayat. Kagipetago tagoyahuta.
Yeah, okay. I hear it now. Yeah, good one. There we go. Neil says, when they were placed here, brought here, tagotaheo would be the root word. So, yeah. That part there just smushed together, but it's super common in fluent speech.
Wapskiwias. Opikskwewen. Kagi pekik tago te tuuta.
Tagutit.
Wapskiwias. O piks kwewen. Kagi pekik tago te tuuta.
Is giga a preverb? Does it mean something? Because I'm hearing gigatagote.
Wapskiwias. O piks kwewen. Kagi pekik tago te tuuta.
Sounds like this. That's what I'm hearing, but I don't understand that. Giga. Nope. Nope, those are all the wrong thing. One more time.
Wapskiwias. O piks kwewen. Kagi pekik tago te tuuta.
I'll just leave it for now. Flag that one for Wes, in case there's something in there I'm missing. Oops.
Kagipin tatasihta magoya kigoi he no tekskehta.
Tasihta magoyak.
Kagipin tatasihta magoya kigoi he no tekskehta.
Enoteg sketa.
Kagipin tatasihta magoya kigoi he no tekskehta.
Is that what you're hearing? Kagi? Yeah. Let me listen to it again, Neil.
Wapskiwias. O piks kwewen. Kagi pekik tago te tuuta.
One more time.
Wapskiwias. O piks kwewen. Kagi pekik tago te tuuta.
I'm hearing gagi pegig tagotit. Gagi pegig tagotit. I don't hear gagi in there.
Kagipin tatasihta magoya kigoi he no tekskehta. Eksimani gietaja postoja.
Yeah. I get it. Just the giga part I don't understand. If it was just a slip or... I'll just ask Wes about it. It's not a big deal.
Eksimani gietaja postoja, kun giivihtä moja. Eksimani gietaja postoja, kun giivihtä moja.
Mustaja kuk. Sisko.
Eksimani gietaja postoja, kun giivihtä moja.
Yeah, Cook probably wants a... What did I do on this one? I didn't do on that one. Stoya Cook. Itatsemo. Missed an I. Okay. Which one, Neil? Neil says he said gagi, not giga. Really? Is that what you're hearing in there? That's wild. I'm not.
Wapskiwias. O piks kwewen. Kagi pekik tago te tuuta.
Gagi pegigatagotit. That's what I'm hearing. So I got the gagi, but do you think he said gagi again in there? Is that what you're hearing? It sucks that there's about like probably 5 or 6 second delay between TikTok. So if I want to wait for... Play it again, he says. Okay, I'll play it again.
Wapskiwias. O piks kwewen. Kagi pekik tago te tuuta.
Gagi pegigatagotit. That's what I'm hearing.
Wapskiwias. O piks kwewen. Kagi pekik tago te tuuta.
Yeah, weird. It's okay. We'll just keep going.
Tansi niana nation stoi maya kuku.
Tanzanian in stoi maya kok. I think that's what he said. What would that, if that's what it is, Gagi pe gitagote, what does that ge mean in there? Like, it's not a reduplication. I'm curious what it means. Like, I just don't know what it means. If it has a meaning like semantics or something. Yeah. I'll yeah, I'll ask Wes about it if there's something I'm missing there.
Tansi niana nation stoi maya kuku.
Maya kok.
Tansi niana nation stoi maya kuku.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Neil says probably just a slip of the tongue. What is the gi? What would it mean in there though? Like if it was gi, because gi is already in there, right? Gi is right there. So then what would, or did, no, that wouldn't make sense. In context, like it wouldn't be like he changed his mind, gagi pe, and then he changed his mind and said gigatago date. He meant like when they arrived, right? Yeah, I don't know. That's the problem with transcribing sometimes, right? Like just like it's easy to get in there and like overanalyze every little thing. We talk about all the time when we're transcribing and stuff. Like we don't speak perfectly all the time, so it's easy to overanalyze that. But then sometimes, that part of the learning process too is there might be a piece in there that does mean something that's subtle or doesn't get used very often, right? So.
Go to me, say to Kaisi Gas or Chigo, give me a guachego.
Me chet.
Go to me, say to Kaisi Gas or Chigo, give me a guachego. Go to me, say to Kaisi Gas or Chigo, give me.
So chick.
Go to me, say to Kaisi Gas or Chigo, give me a guachego.
I have to grab the next chunk to see where he's going with that. Ah, okay, I see where he's going. We huana hegi mi I. Yeah, gok, I think he's saying. Let's grab the next little bit.
Okay,
we'll just have to grab the whole thing. That's just how it is. Giskin Moayakok, is that what he said?
Huh.
Let me just listen to the whole chunk, make sure I didn't miss anything in there. Cool. I know I think this word starts with an O because he said whoa. Whoa. He does that a lot.
Wapskiwiasak.
What is the word?
Kagipeo skitagohte chagotai. Wapskiwiasak. Kagipeo skitagohte chagotai. Wapskiwiasak.
Ah, dagohteitik. Like when they, would that be like freshly arrived? When they were newly arrived? What an interesting phrase. Gagipewaosketagohteitik. Newly arrived, I guess. Yeah, eo. Yeah, maybe it is.
Kagipeo skitagohte chagotai. Wapskiwiasak.
You think Neil says it's like this. Let me listen again.
Kagipeo skitagohte chagotai. Wapskiwiasak.
Yeah, I think you're right. Thank you. Good catch. Sounds very similar to that. There's that reduplication before an O. He often says wawo, like a wawo dinama. Wawo dinama. Whereas other speakers sometimes will, before a vowel sound for reduplication, they'll use I, which he does also for other words. So I'm just assuming it's a variation, but yeah, that's a good catch. When they were freshly off the boat. When they were fresh off the boat, Neil says. Yeah. That's a cool word. A-I-S-C gati tik ange. Yeah. And grab a little bit more from this one here too. Try not to make them too short.
Maga I squeezed the wow.
We stowau.
Eu big squontic. We stowau. Asian stota.
All right, so let's go. Oops. Move that over.
Yeah, chick.
Nope, not that one.
Eu big squontic. We stowau. Eu big squontic. We stowau.
Will win tick. No, they have language. Maybe it's that. Opig sque win nu. Big sque win. I think that's what I'm hearing. Big sque win. There's a. Let me get my Word document open here, my Google Doc. And we'll break that down a little bit. I think that's a possessive. They have language, or they had language, I guess maybe you'd say. Oh, let me try and get your name right here. Ogimau Kihunapeo says, Nia Magigwe Gahkwanim Magigwe Ginstotin. I hope I get that right. Let's bump this up a little bit here. So, if we take that word, Bigisquewin, of course my, I have to borrow from something else to get the proper long vowels here. It's because they don't, for whatever reason, this happens in this. There we go. And we'll borrow a long E from there. Okay. So if we take this, big squewin, which can be speech, language, maybe, something like that. But this is a noun, right? So what I think he's saying, if you take something, a noun, and you put O on the front, and then you say oo on the end, so, and then in here we put noun in the middle, then we turn it into a verb. It becomes a VAI. And it sort of means like to have it, or has, I'll just say has the noun. So an example of that in this context, what I think he's saying is, if you say opig sque win nu, okay, so we took O on the front and we put U on the end, opig sque nu. Now we have a verb that says that one has language. Maybe you'd say that. I think that's what he's saying. I think what he's saying is eo, and then if you, in this context, it's in a different conjugation, so it would look like this. Eopig squewintik. I think that's what I'm hearing. Gahquanim. Gahquanim. I don't know what that means. Let me know for sure. I think that's what I'm hearing there. I'm going to listen to this one more time.
Eopig squewintik.
Yeah.
Wistawau.
They also have language. Wistawau. Interesting that the dictionary doesn't, or yeah, doesn't pick that up. It's because you can kind of, this is the thing that makes the language productive, right? Because you can do that with anything. Like you can say, you could take this and put like, I don't know if you'd say this, but you could. Instead of that, you could say a tim. You'd have to put a T in there. Eotatemitsik. They have dogs. Right? Like, that's literally what it would mean. They have dogs. They have a dog. Or dogs. Right? Let's do something that doesn't have a vowel. There's some special cases, but something easy. Think of an easy word. Like, I'm trying to think of something that doesn't start with a vowel specifically. I don't know. Good example is like mokoman, I guess. Let me get the correct. I'm having trouble with my long vowels here in this Google Docs, so we'll just borrow it here and drop it in there. Imuhumanachik. They have a knife, or they have knives. Something like that. It's a cool process. So typically we take a verb and we turn it into a noun the other way. Like this word here, big sque win, actually can start out as this verb here, big sque. That one speaks. Right? So it sort of started as a verb. Big sque, speak. Big sque. Big squeo, that one speaks. Big sque win, speech or language. I wonder if you could say big sque win means like a word. Usually I hear itwin for that, but we'll check and see what the... Can be a little bit different depending on where you go, right? So yeah, word. Word, expression, phrase, language, voice. Can have kind of a lot of different meanings depending on the context. One of those tricky words sometimes. So we start as a verb, turn it into a noun, but then we turn it back into a verb again. This is a VAI again. Opig squewenu. That one has language. Could mean a speech or message. Yeah. It's just a cool construction because if you're not used to that, like actually another good example is, and it's trickier because there's kind of rules to it, I guess. But like this is right in Solomon Rat's book, if you want to say, I have two brothers, what you could say it this way. If I said Niso, so we can find a long I. There's my long I. Niso. Nistes. I don't know if you'd say it this way. Nitayan. It doesn't. It sounds, I think, awkward. It sounds like you own them. Nitayan, like it. I have two brothers. It's kind of awkward. So then the quote unquote correct, or the more accepted way, I guess you'd say this, is you take the relational form of nistes, which would be ostesa or ostesima, but let's use ostesa. And this is the chunk you want here. This would be like that person's brother. And so the way you'd want to say that is you could do the exact same thing. O, we need that T-joiner. Ostes, sin, ostes, eotostes, yan. Eotostasian. I have two brothers. That's kind of the way you'll hear that, I think. Yeah. So this way, and it's not to say that you couldn't say it this way. I've heard people say it this way, Niso nistesak nitayan, but I think older fluent speakers would prefer this way, because I've heard them say, and Solomon says this in his book too, this one sounds like you possess them. But again, it could be a regional thing too. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty sure that's what's happening here. They have language, wistawao. Let's grab a little bit more for this chunk.
Eupik skoontik. Wistawao. Asian stota.
Oh yeah, there was more to that.
Eupik skoontik.
Instead of listening to the whole thing, let's just grab the last little bit.
Asian stota masotik.
I usually put that false start in there at least once. Nisito stotamastic. That should show up. Asian stotamastic.
Asian stota
Why isn't that showing up? Yeah, sometimes the dictionary does. So that would be nistotamuel. Yeah, ito. No, it's nisitotam. Yeah, it just doesn't like the word. Nisitotam. Yeah, okay. So again, we'll flag this for the dictionary, folks. He uses this word a lot. Nistotamastic. Let's listen to that one more time. And actually, that's probably the same. Neil says for that possessive, nitayoawak. Do you hear it that way sometimes? Nitayoawak. Wouldn't that be ayaweo? Nitayawawak. Nitayawawak? Yeah, something like that. I don't know if I've ever heard that though. Oh, I see. This way. Nitayaw. Wawak. I see. So but I heard somebody say that, so I wonder if it was a learner. Nitayan. Is that the right? I always get confused with this. I have so much easier time with the conjunct form of these. I don't hear the Tayawawak, yeah. These ones I have such a harder time with the independent mode on the VTAs because they're just less common. Yeah. Yeah, Nit Dayan is what I heard, and I'm trying to think of where I heard that. Yeah, it's interesting. Language variations.
Eupikskoontik.
That's not what I wanted. Next one.
Ekta huihun uiawa egi ayatik.
Wiawau egi ayatik. I think that's what he said.
Ekta huihun uiawa egi ayatik.
Neil says, me too. I never say it but that way, but I hear it. Okay, it's interesting. Interesting.
Hapupugo matante homa kia no managaita ayakuguge kaskte wayasitak.
Let's break this down into little pieces. It makes it easier to keep.
Hapupugo matante homa. Hapupugo matante homa.
First, I thought he said anma, and then I was like, no, it couldn't have been that. I had to really listen to hear that. Now it's oma for sure.
Hapupugo matante homa.
Tante homa.
Kia no managaita ayakuguge. Kia no managaita ayakuguge.
Kia no.
Kia no managaita ayakuguge.
Nagatayak.
Kia no managaita ayakuguge. Kia no managaita ayakuguge.
I don't know that word.
Kia no managaita ayakuguge. Kia no managaita ayakuguge.
I think that's what I'm hearing.
Kia no managaita ayakuguge.
Oh, let me get refreshed here. Man. Oh, thank you, Neil. I knew it wasn't right. I was like, I'm hearing something else in there, but I can't make it out.
Kia no managaita ayakuguge.
Yeah. Mana. That's why it sounded funny. Whoops. What did I do? Kia no. Mana. Oh, let me refresh again. I got something funky going on there. Reload. Gaitayak. See, and I thought I heard that part. Gaitayako.
Kia no managaita ayakuguge.
Yeah. It's because sometimes what happens is he's saying Gaitayakok uge. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me grab this last little bit and then we'll listen to the whole thing.
Kia no managaita ayakuguge. Kaskte wayasitak.
Kaskitayo. Yeah. But the interesting thing is that listen to it closely, the stress is a little bit off, I'll say, the pitch accent.
Hapupugo matante homa kia no managaita ayakuguge. Kaskte wayasitak.
Oh, okay, no, it is Gaitaya, but the stress is right there, but that's fine. Gaitaya kokoge, Gaitaya kokoge.
Hapupugo matante homa kia no managaita ayakuguge. Kaskte wayasitak.
Yeah, I think because the stress is here, it sounds like he's saying ga itayak. but he's actually saying ka taya hakok. That's interesting. Yeah.
Kaya asmanegi mohkegini tapas tego mapasquak.
Atim something.
Kaya asmanegi mohkegini tapas tego mapasquak. Kaya asmanegi mohkegini tapas tego mapasquak.
Nihta, is that what he said?
Kaya asmanegi mohkegini tapas tego mapasquak.
Mana, Pasquak. Long A, I'm guessing. Pasquao. Steak. I think that's what I'm hearing. Is that just set? Steak. Let me hear it again.
Kaya asmanegi mohkegini tapas tego mapasquak.
Wonder if that's nita. Steak is one word. Excuse me. Nita. Huh. Steak. Will. Yeah, that's what I assumed he was saying. Steak. Steak. I'll just flag that one. And I wonder if it's. Let me listen to it one more time.
Kaya asmanegi mohkegini tapas tego mapasquak.
I think that's it. Meow 11 showed up. I think he means his nickname is Tagay. I think that's what that is. Thanks for stopping by. Used to burn the prairie in the Muskamik.
Kati miuskamekoma. Antan mana.
Let's just grab this whole next chunk. It's probably one.
Egi nihta mistiha tegi ohi maskusia heksisina na tohki koi maskihiwahteko.
Mistas.
Egi nihta mistiha tegi ohi maskusia heksisina na tohki koi maskihiwahteko.
Dege. I think that's what he said. I don't know the word.
Egi nihta mistiha tegi ohi maskusia heksisina na tohki koi maskihiwahteko.
Just grab that last chunk. Something about changing, eh? Mesti kategi. Mesti. I bet that's a long I. No. What did I miss? Oh, short AH. Interesting. We'll look that up in a second.
Maskusia heksisina na tohki koi maskihiwahteko.
Holy. Just about missed my puzzle. Good thing I was just thinking, man, I bet my puzzle's gonna come up pretty soon. Oh, gotta do it again. Yay. Or else TikTok will kick me out.
Maskusia heksisina na tohki koi maskihiwahteko. Maskusia heksisina na tohki koi maskihiwahteko.
Maskikiwatikwa. All right. Long A. H in there. Okay. Interesting. Let's go look up this word because I don't know it. Let's change something. Oh, no, it has to do with burning also. Burn it all up. Interesting. Cool word. Cool word. Brenda says, what's that first word supposed to be? Prone to fires on the prairies. I've heard this lots too, right? Like, I think it's Les Skinner that talked about that. Like, even in the Jasper area and stuff, they never used to be treed like it was. And it makes sense. I mean, if you look at some of those trees, the spruce trees that are in there, they're not very old. If you look at them, right? Like old spruce trees are big, right? There's not a ton of huge trees in there. So it's kind of interesting. Let's put all of this together in one, as Ruben would say, all in one breath. Oh, prone. Yeah, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Prone to fires. But I think it was more managed. Or from what I understand, that's what I've been told anyway.
Antan mana egi nihtaamistiga tegi o he maskusia he ksisina na tohki ko maskihi wahtego.
Grass and the plants, the medicines. Grab another chunk.
Eksan megis paikpea wow. Ekse egis pa pastego ma.
Egi pa pastig, I think you said.
Eksan megis paikpea wow. Ekse egis pa pastego ma.
Oh, shoot. You said a word in there and then I promptly forgot what it was.
Ekse egis pa pastego ma.
I'll put the false start in there just because I can. Egi isse. Pa pastig. Oma, I think you said.
Ekse egis pa pastego ma.
That makes me think that other word. Back up and
Kaya asmanigiace mo kegini ta pastego ma pasqua.
pastig. Short I. Interesting. It's a little game making all the words turn blue. Yeah.
Ektan massonegia haya sigogin taisinim nanak.
Sisone.
Ektan massonegia haya sigogin taisinim nanak.
What's that last word?
Ektan massonegia haya sigogin taisinim nanak.
Daisim na nak. Nitaisim na nak. Nitaisim min na nak. No, I'll have to figure that one out. I struggle with this word. Thank you, Neil. Nitaisinimna. Thank you. I had something like that to begin with. There's so many there's so many eyes in there. Because it's Isinu. Nitaisimnanak. It's like when you say it, it's so easy, but how do you spell it? Ian Neem Innanak. Thank you. I thought that's what I thought I had before. I think I'm still missing something in there. Let's do it one more time.
Ektan massonegia haya sigogin taisinim nanak.
Is there an extra I in there?
Ektan massonegia haya sigogin taisinim nanak.
It sounds like ahayatik. I wonder if you can spell it that way. That'd be cool, actually. Oh, you can too. Let's do that. I like that. Cool. And the context would make sense. Repeatedly. Intermittently. Huh. Yeah. Let's go a little bit more here.
Hi tahto e sagawa apa machagai sino he matoi pe iait.
Esa.
Hi tahto e sagawa apa machagai sino he matoi pe iait. Hi tahto e sagawa apa machagai sino he matoi pe iait.
Kape ayayit. Is that what he said? I see and nu. Oh, shorty. Oof.
Hi tahto e sagawa apa machagai sino he matoi pe iait.
E matui pe ayayit.
Mtone chige pe tagohte chigo mtone iga kaskte usete. Mtone chige pe tagohte chigo mtone iga kaskte usete.
Oh. Wah. See mitane again. Igaskiteu chik.
Mtone chige pe tagohte chigo mtone iga kaskte usete.
Gaskit. I think that's what I'm hearing.
Mtone chige pe tagohte chigo mtone iga kaskte usete.
Gaskiteu ay siti chik.
Mtone chige pe tagohte chigo mtone iga kaskte usete.
Why do I keep hitting that L? I wonder if you could say gaskiteu ayas gaskiteu. So sit. Yeah, and so this is what I would expect. It's probably actually that. Gaskateo city tick. So it's probably that. I'm still spelling it wrong though, aren't I? Let's borrow this whole chunk. Something in there I've got wrong. It just doesn't like that. That's fine. It's a game. Turn all the words blue. It's fine. Oh, I can tell I'm getting tired. April says, yeah, that's what I heard at first too, that it sounds like a long E. But that I to E sound can really change depending on the speaker, depending on the region. And so because this is spelled, like this is what it means, they were Blackfoot, like the Blackfoot were there. This is the correct word. Oh, I see. They don't have any of those in there, so that's fine. So I'm inclined to say it's probably actually that, because this would be this. Oh no, you know what? You're right. Because then it would be Uitik, wouldn't it? Let's actually flag it. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Good night, Francis. Yeah, have a good one. Mio tipskanse. Let me back up because Brenda's saying I sinua.
Hita toi sagawa pa machagai sino he matoi pe yait.
Good catch. I originally thought that at first, but then when I listened to it, I thought, no, he said I sinu.
Hita toi sagawa pa machagai sino he matoi pe yait.
Yeah, good catch. Yeah.
Mtone chige pe tago te chigo kham tone iga kaskte usete chik. Mtone chige pe tago te chigo kham tone iga kaskte usete chik.
Interesting. Yep. Okay, we'll do a few more. I might stop short a little bit tonight. I've had a pretty tired week, so just getting back into the stream. But let's go a little bit more. We're coming up on 11 minutes. We got just about 3 minutes done tonight. But I can feel myself getting pretty tired. And I'm starting to make a lot of mistakes, it feels like.
Utaho mi takagi pastege kutahe pe pap mohte chik. Utaho mi takagi pastege kutahe pe pap mohte chik.
Dagi pastek.
Utaho mi takagi pastege kutahe pe pap mohte chik.
I can hear myself agreeing in the background. I'm going, yeah, like I had any clue what he was saying at the time. Pathetic.
Utaho mi takagi pastege kutahe pe pap mohte chik.
I think that's what I'm hearing.
Utaho mi takagi pastege kutahe pe pap mohte chik.
E pepa bemuhtig. Yeah.
Ego chimton gaga sktewai ge homaskinoa. Ego chimton gaga sktewai ge homaskinoa.
Gasketewai muskisinuawa. Is that what he said?
Ego chimton gaga sktewai ge homaskinoa.
Gasketewai. Is that a word? That's what I'm hearing.
Ego chimton gaga sktewai ge homaskinoa.
Muskis sinuawa. That's why their moccasins were black, I guess. Gaskete, wow, it's a long A. Gaskete. That makes sense. Okay, I had to think about that for a minute. Again, not a high frequency word. And learner brain needs to think about these things sometimes. What does that mean? That's why their Muskisino were black. He's telling a story about the Blackfoot or Blackfeet.
Ektahan mo si kasktewa sa takagitayakok. Ektahan mo si kasktewa sa takagitayakok.
Kitewai. Sitak. Just thinking about that word for a minute. I always wonder why the I is in there. It's interesting.
Ektahan mo si kasktewa sa takagitayakok. From there we called them Blackfeet, I guess. Aiskmina kutagaguge mihuinoak.
Mihko the Bloods. We Mihko Inuak. Yeah, okay.
Aiskmina kutagaguge mihuinoak. Aiskmina kutagaguge mihuinoak.
That one's always had an index.
Aiskmina kutagaguge mihuinoak. Tanse tuguwiekunik. Tanse tuguwiekunik. Igi wawuhtina kigoma wihon hewananma.
Egi Wawo.
Igi wawuhtina kigoma wihon hewananma.
Where did they get it from?
Igi wawuhtina kigoma wihon hewananma.
Ewaguananma. Ewananma. We're on a roll, so we'll do a couple more before we shut down here.
Magate piake kusegin stoi tagus sigmana. Magate piake kusegin stoi tagus sigmana.
Egi Nstoetagustik. I think that's what he said. Nisitoe Dagustik. Something like that. Well, looks like it worked.
Magate piake kusegin stoi tagus sigmana.
Ego se mana. Stoetagustik. Let's just, there's so many similar words to that. We'll look it up just to make sure I understand what it means. Known as, recognized. That's what I was thinking was recognized. Stoetagustik. Egin Stoetagustik. Yeah, interesting. All right.
He uses that
word a bit too. A tapsumihatsik or something like that. Something like that. Gasket. Rowly cat. Meow. What do you need, buddy? Gasket deal. Yes. Duck. Mina. Mikuinoak. Is that what he said? Mina sasiwak. This is very he uses a variation of that word in another story. And I'm trying to remember if it was, I think it's a sweetgrass story. I'll just flag this one and I'll come back to it. This is kind of our first pass anyway. Let's grab this next little chunk right there. Okay. And we'll flag those just because we can. Have a good night, April. Mute tips kanse.
Kakyo managanto pai chega po ipe mamo pai chege ipe Ka kyo mana kan to pai chika po gi pe ma mo pai chike gi pe. Ka kyo mana kan to pai chika po gi pe ma mo pai chike gi pe.
Aha, yeah. Aha, yeah. Kista, Bill. Have a good night. You tips guns. I'm going to shut down right away because I'm starting to fade. It's been a long week. But I did want to, I didn't do any streams last night, so I want to jump on at least tonight and get something done.
Po gi pe ma mo pai chike. Po gi pe ma mo pai chike gi pe.
Ah. Be Mamo.
Po gi pe ma mo pai chike gi pe.
Mamo Paichik. Yeah, there we go. Oh. There we go. Let's do one more and then I'm going to shut it down.
Igi pe mi se chik mana. Mi se to ta he ta gohte chik me to ne gi pe ka kwahiak.
I think that's what I heard.
Igi pe mi se chik mana. Mi se to ta he ta gohte chik me to ne gi pe ka kwahiak.
Michi Tuao.
Mi se to ta he ta gohte chik me to ne gi pe ka kwahiak.
The Guhti Chik.
Mi se to ta he ta gohte chik me to ne gi pe ka kwahiak. Mi se to ta he ta gohte chik me to ne gi pe ka kwahiak.
We have to grab that next word. Oops, that's not what I wanted.
Mi se to ta he ta gohte chik me to ne gi pe ka kwahiak. Kwahiak aya chik.
Oh, a real hard one right for the end there. Let's try this.
Te chik me to ne gi pe ka kwahiak. Kwahiak aya chik.
Yuck, something like that.
Te chik me to ne gi pe ka kwahiak. Kwahiak aya chik.
Guaya Chik. I don't understand it. Guaya Chik. Something like that. Let's just listen to the last bit.
Kwahiak aya chik.
Listen to the whole thing in one, all in one breath, as Ruben would say.
Igi pe mi se chik mana. Mi se to ta he ta gohte chik me to ne gi pe ka kwahiak. Kwahiak aya chik.
Tremendously interesting. In great numbers. Guaya Ayatik. They were suddenly in, that's going to be a long A. They came in great numbers. That's a cool word. Gagwayake. Very cool. I was not expecting to find that at the last minute, but so I am gonna, we almost made 12 minutes, so that's pretty good. I think we covered, I think we started off at 8, so almost 4 minutes tonight. It's quite a bit. Quite a bit. So I am gonna drop the stream there. Mia sinumaya saimina gap matoskata mahkum o atsumunsa ay tapto mana gap witsi soyano umumuta ego takatsumunsa ya mistegi gwe giskuno magosian mitone witsi soyan, I'll say. It helps me a lot to study these things. So I hope you all are also getting something out of this. But also don't forget that these stories are available on YouTube if you're just tuning in or tuning in lately under the project Sweetgrass Stories, a 21st Century Perspective. And now that we are finished recording with Wes, the 4 sessions, we will start uploading the rest of these. And yeah, I have close to 30 hours of material to put on the YouTube channel there. So make sure you're tuned into that if you're not already. And then every Sunday, as we're able, we do transcribing. So we're working through some of these stories. Tonight we're working on Tsimuin Peyak. That's the very first story I recorded when I was there at Sweetgrass. That's that one there. So you can skip ahead if you want to and go listen to the whole thing. We do have a couple of private groups throughout the week if you're interested. There's one private group that meets tomorrow night. And then ad hoc throughout the week, even sometimes to do transcription as well. We just meet on Zoom and get together. If you're a beginner or intermediate learner, this is a really great way to get a lot of language. I'm a very firm believer that if you want to advance quickly, hang out with other language learners who've been down the road before you, you will pick up lots. There's also a Michif transcription group that happens on Saturdays. If you're interested in any of those things, let me know. Just shoot me a message on Facebook or TikTok or even YouTube. And we can get you connected with those groups. So we're going to kisita no ego tayo. Asay mi nakakyo kitam skat nawaw. Mittone nanas kumun. Mistehe? What I say, mittone or mistehe? Not even sure. Mistehe nanas kumun. Mittone nanas kumuyan. I'm not sure which is the right one in that context. I'm really grateful for everyone coming out tonight. I inanas kum tago kape tago sini kape giu kui anuts. And we'll do it again next week. Mio tips gun sick, mio gau smoke. We'll drop the stream off there. Everybody have a good night. Okay. Muestas.